Hi everyone, my name is Danny. Welcome to Danny's Corner. Yesterday, June 14th, 2025, will be remembered not only for its noise, but for its meaning. On this day, nearly 5 million Americans poured into streets, parks, plazas, and even rural fields to take part in what became known as the No Kings Protest, a coordinated nationwide demonstration against authoritarianism, militarization, and the symbolic power represented by President Donald Trump's military parade in Washington, D.C. This video will recount what happened, how it unfolded, and what it means. So let me tell you a little bit about the background. The tension leading up to this day was palpable. In weeks prior, news broke that President Trump would stage a massive military parade in the nation's capital to coincide with the Army's 250th birthday and his own. The choice of date, Flag Day, which also marks his birthday, was not lost on citizens who saw the move as both self-aggrandizing and dangerous. Organizers from across the political spectrum began preparing what would become one of the largest protests mobilizations in modern U.S. history. Civil rights groups, veterans, disability advocates, students, faith leaders, and even disillusioned conservatives joined forces. They called it the No Kings Protest, a rebuke to monarchical posturing and reminding that American democracy was to resist tyranny, not crown it. On June 14th alone, over 2,100 separate protest events were documented across the country. These weren't just limited to major urban centers. Smaller cities, towns, and rural areas also saw crowds gather. The estimated total number of participants was around 5 million. To put that into perspective, that's about 1.47% of the entire U.S. population, a staggering number for a single day protest. For comparison, the Women's March of 2017 had around 3 million across the country. Philadelphia hosted the largest single gathering, with approximately 80,000 people marching down Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Other major cities followed closely. New York, 50,000. San Diego, 60,000. LA, 25,000. And Chicago, 35,000. All saw historic turnouts. Smaller but still powerful events occurred in Boise, Tulsa, Des Moines, and Missoula. Violence erupts, unfortunately. Despite the majority of protests being peaceful, the day was marred by tragic events. In Minnesota, Democratic State Representative Melissa Horton and her husband were shot and killed in their home, what investigators believe to be a politically motivated attack. The news sent shockwaves through the activist and political community. Their deaths served as a reminder that violence doesn't always happen in the streets. It can reach into the most personal spaces. Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also seriously injured in a related attack. Both were hospitalized in critical condition, with law enforcement confirming ties to extremist ideology. Meanwhile, in Salt Lake City, a protester was shot and critically injured in a march involving around 10,000 participants. The suspect was detained on the scene. Vehicle-related attacks also occurred. In Culpeper, Virginia, and in San Francisco, Protesters were struck by vehicles in separate incidents. Several were hospitalized with non life threatening injuries. These events echo previous protests in recent years where vehicles have been weaponized. So, what's the meaning of all of this? What does it mean when nearly 5 million people take to the streets? It means they are no longer willing to be silent. It means the government is being watched. But it also invites another question. What would have happened if those same 5 million had stayed home? A different kind of protest. What some call a silent protest is based on withdrawal, no purchases, no work, no online activity, no entertainment, no social media, no engagement, just absence. If 5 million people had withdrawn from the economy in public visibility for 24 to 48 hours, the disruption would have been equally, if not more, profound. Assuming each of those individuals spent about $20 less a day, $100 million would have been pulled from circulation instantly. Retailers, restaurants, gas stations, and online platforms would have noticed the dip. More significantly, the symbolic message would be harder to demonize because there would be no faces to attack, no footage to spin, just silence. That silence, when coordinated and deliberate, speaks volume. So here's the response from the media. The coverage was intense and immediate. While right-wing outlets tried to downplay the scale and shift to isolated violent incidents, the reality was undeniable. Drone footage, street reports, and user-generated content flooded social platforms. President Trump, in typical fashion, responded not with empathy but defiance. His statement, issued late in the day, referred to protesters as spoiled and ungrateful and praised the military parade as a testament to strength, not surrender. Meanwhile, social platforms reported dips in activities in some regions, suggesting that a portion of the protest may already lean to the silent model, combining both action and abstention. What comes next? Whether this becomes a turning point or a passing moment depends on what happens next. Will the energy sustain? Will the unity across political identities hold? Will people consider silence as a tool, not just noise? The dual nature of the protest, one part physical, one part philosophical, reflects a new generation of civic engagement. This is not the protest of the past. It's dynamic, hybrid, digital, and deeply personal. The deaths of 2 public officials and the serious injuries of 2 others will likely escalate concerns about the domestic extremism. It also highlights the risk protesters take simply by participating in civic life. Yet, for 5 million people, the message was worth the risk. Here are my final thoughts. The story of June 14th, 2025 is not just about numbers or even tragedy. It's about presence and the possibility of absence. It's about what we say when we show up and what we say when we choose not to. It is about reclaiming the meaning of democracy in a time that it's being reshaped before our eyes. It is, in a truest sense, the sound of a nation both crying out and holding its breath. In the end, what matters most, it's not just what happened yesterday, but what we choose to remember about it. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this video. And remember, stay safe, because that's the most important thing. I don't know what's going to happen from here in the next couple of weeks, but truly things have been going downhill very fast. Stay safe. If you are in the heat, such as I am, make sure you stay hydrated, and let's brace for what's to come. If you have enjoyed videos such as this one, don't forget that you can share, give a like, and even comment. And when it comes to comments, always remember to do it respectfully. I always try to make these videos to help everyone. Doesn't matter if you're from the left or from the right, religious or not, spiritual or not, as I think all of us share perhaps the same sadness for the things that are going around in the United States, perhaps the same anger. And again, that is happening no matter where you are or what your individual beliefs may be. So again, thank you very much. And until next time, stay safe.